Nordic gods and magical beasts have amazing powers. Today, let's dive into 10 mythic weapons and items that have amazed people for ages. Dane's Leaf. In the dark world of Norse myths, where gods and giants are always fighting, the story of a very special sword called Dane's Leaf stands out. This sword, known for its cursed nature, was made by dwarves, the only beings capable of creating such powerful items in this mythical world. Dwarves, who live in the dark land called Svartalheim, were famous for their magic skills and for making incredibly powerful weapons and jewelry. But this particular sword was created for a darker reason and had a more fearsome destiny. At first look, Dane's Leaf seems like any normal sword. However, it carries a unique curse. It was believed that once Dane's Leaf was used, it had to cause a death before it could be put away again. This was not a weapon to threaten someone with without meaning it. If the sword was used, someone would definitely die. Furthermore, any injury caused by Dane's Leaf was fatal. No matter how small the injury, it meant certain death. Dane's Leaf ended up with King Hogni and became very important in his battle against King Hedin. In their final fight, Hedin asks Hogni to end the violence. But Hogni says it's impossible to stop because Dane's Leaf was used and needed to be satisfied with human blood. Mjolnir. Mjolnir, also known as the Hammer of the Gods, is a significant weapon and tool in Norse legends. It's not just a regular weapon, but a part of Thor, the god of thunder's immense power and anger. The tale of Mjolnir is closely tied to Thor's own. It was made by the dwarf brothers Brokr and Sindri, known for their unparalleled crafting skills. They took on a bet from Loki, the trickster god, to make gifts for the gods that were better than those made by the elves. Using his magical forge, Sindri made 3 amazing items: a gold boar, a magical bracelet, and lastly, Mjolnir. However, creating Mjolnir was challenging. Loki, trying to make the brothers fail, turned into a mosquito and distracted Brokr while he was working. Even though the handle turned out shorter than expected because of Loki's actions, Mjolnir's effectiveness wasn't reduced. It was a divine tool capable of destroying big mountains and defeating the gods' foes. But it wasn't just for destruction. It also had the power to bless and protect. Thor used Mjolnir for many things, including blessing weddings and bringing the dead back to life. The hammer was more than just a weapon for Thor. It was a symbol of his strength and leadership. It always returned to him after being thrown, showing a never-ending cycle of breaking down and building up. Also, only those who were truly deserving could lift Mjolnir, showing the qualities needed to have such a powerful tool. Mjolnir wasn't just important in stories. It had a real significance in Norse culture. People wore Mjolnir pendants for protection and to show their belief in the Norse gods. Draupnir. Draupnir is a special gold bracelet owned by Odin, the most powerful god in Norse stories. It's not just for show, because this bracelet has a unique magic. It creates 8 new rings just like itself every 9 nights. So Draupnir is more than a piece of jewelry. It's a never-ending source of gold. The story behind Draupnir is just as interesting. It was made by the dwarf brothers Sindri and Brokr during a challenge set by Loki, the god known for causing trouble. After it was made, the bracelet was given to the gods in Asgard, and Odin wore it on his arm. From then on, every 9 nights, Draupnir produces 8 new rings, giving Odin a limitless supply of gold. But Draupnir isn't just about wealth. It also appears in many stories and poems. For instance, after his son Balder died, Odin placed Draupnir on Balder's funeral fire, and later the messenger god Hermodr brought it back to Odin. Gullinbursti. Gullinbursti is a fantastic magical creature from Norse mythology. Like the other items, this divine boar was created by the expert dwarves Sindri and Brokr during their wager with Loki. They crafted Gullinbursti entirely from gold, making its skin glow so brightly it could light up the night. But Gullinbursti was more than just a pretty creature. It had amazing powers. It could run faster than any horse, even flying through the air and moving over water, and its light could chase away any darkness. After being made, it was brought to the gods in Asgard. The god Freyr, associated with sunshine, rain, and growth, chose the splendid boar. With Gullinbursti, Freyr was even more powerful in battle, its golden light announcing his coming, shining the way with divine radiance. Skadi's bow. Skadi's bow, belonging to Skadi, is a fascinating element of Norse myth. Skadi is unique, being both a giantess and a goddess. She is mostly known as the goddess of hunting and winter, and is famous for her powerful bow. Her bow is perfect for her strong and resilient nature. Skadi uses it to hunt in the cold, snowy northern lands with extreme accuracy. The bow isn't just a tool for hunting, it's part of who she is, with each arrow representing her determination. But there's more to Scotty's bow than hunting. It symbolizes the untamed forces of nature, reflecting Scotty's role as a giantess. An arrow shot from her bow can't be taken back, mirroring the irreversible force of nature. In the myths, Scotty is a fierce character known as much for her anger as for her courage. For example, when her father was killed by the gods, she stormed into Asgard with her bow, ready for revenge. The gods, impressed by her boldness, offered compensation, and Scotty joined their ranks, a sign that even they respected her strength and her bow. Gleipnir. Gleipnir is a very special chain from Norse mythology. Unlike any normal chain, it is linked to the story of the giant wolf Fenrir, who is Loki's son and a giantess named Angerboda's son too. Fenrir was extremely strong and grew larger every day, which made the gods of Asgard very scared. The gods tried 2 times to lock Fenrir up with big iron chains they made themselves, but Fenrir was too strong and broke them each time. Then the gods asked the dwarves for help because dwarves are very good at making things and know magic. The dwarves made Gleipnir out of strange things: the sound of a cat walking, women's beards, mountain roots, bear nerves, fish breath, and bird spit. It looked like a thin, smooth ribbon, but it was incredibly strong. When the gods came back to Fenrir with Gleipnir, Fenrir didn't trust them and thought it might be a trick. He said he would only let them tie him up if one of the gods would put his hand in Fenrir's mouth as a promise. The brave god Tyr agreed to this, but when Fenrir realized he couldn't break Gleipnir, he bit off Tyr's hand. So Gleipnir did what no other chain could. It kept Fenrir from causing trouble. Fenrir is supposed to stay tied up with Gleipnir until Ragnarok, which is when the world ends according to Norse stories. Gleipnir shows us that real strength doesn't always look the way we expect, and that smart ideas can solve big problems. Andvaranaut. Andvaranaut, also called the Ring of Andvari, is a powerful and cursed ring in Norse myths and old Germanic stories. This ring is at the heart of many tales about greed, lies, and bad luck. It originally belonged to Andvari, a smart dwarf who could turn into a fish and lived in a mountain river. Andvari was famous for being very rich, especially because he had the Andvaranaut ring, which could make more gold. But everything changed for Andvari when the god Loki caught him using a magical fishing net. To save his own life, Andvari had to give all his treasure to Loki, including the special ring, Andvaranaut. But before he gave it away, Andvari put a curse on the ring, saying it would cause trouble and death for anyone who had it. After that, the ring caused lots of sadness and disaster as it was passed from one person to another. Everyone who owned it, attracted by its beauty and the gold it could make, ended up having terrible things happen to them. From King Riedmar, who was killed by his own sons, to the hero Sigurd, who was tricked and killed, the ring brought nothing but pain. Brisingamen. Brisingamen is a unique and incredibly beautiful necklace that is considered the most precious of all. It is much more than a simple piece of jewelry. It is a masterpiece representing true beauty and longing. Moreover, Brisingamen shows the strong influence of its owner, the goddess Freyja. Freyja, the Norse goddess known for her roles in love, beauty, fertility, magic, and war, rightfully owns this necklace. The necklace is so captivating and beautiful that even Freyja, famed for her own beauty, was astonished by its splendor. The tale tells us that Freyja first saw this necklace at the workshop of 4 dwarves known as the Brisings. Captivated by its allure, she decided she must have it, but the dwarves wouldn't exchange it for gold or silver. Instead, they asked Freyja to spend one night with each of them as payment. Driven by her desire for the necklace, Freyja agreed. Once she wore the Brisingamen, her beauty, already renowned, became even more magnificent, drawing attention and admiration from both gods and mortals. Yet the necklace is not just a mark of beauty, it also shows Freyja's cleverness and her willingness to do whatever is necessary to achieve her desires, despite the great sacrifices involved. Skidbladnir. Skidbladnir holds a place of wonder in Norse mythology. It's not a weapon or a piece of jewelry, but a one-of-a-kind ship. This ship stands out not because of its human or divine creators, but due to the craftsmanship of the skilled and enigmatic dwarves. Created following a request by the trickster god Loki, this ship was given to Freyr, the god of wealth and abundance, as a peacemaking gift. But what's so unique about this ship? Skidbladnir is far from ordinary. It has magical features that are beyond human understanding. Despite its enormous size, able to hold all the gods, it can be folded up as small as a piece of cloth and kept in a pocket. Not only is Skidbladnir huge, but it also comes with magical abilities ensuring that it always sails with a favorable wind, making travel for the gods fast and safe. No matter the destination, the ship travels smoothly and without any trouble from sea or weather conditions. In Norse mythology's expansive universe, Skidbladnir is a symbol of unity, a vessel for the gods, showcasing the incredible craftsmanship of the dwarves and Loki's cleverness. Gjallarhorn. Gjallarhorn, meaning yelling horn, is one of the most important and symbolic items in Norse myths. This horn is linked to Heimdall, the god who watches over the Bifrost, which is the colorful bridge connecting the world of the gods, Asgard, to the human world, Midgard. Heimdall, who has incredibly sharp hearing, is tasked with watching for the gods. He can hear things as quiet as grass growing or sheep's wool. His main job is to look out for giants attacking. The Gjallarhorn is a special tool for him in this duty. The horn is not used every day. It has a very specific purpose. The sound it makes is supposed to signal a very important cosmic event. Stories say the horn is hidden under Yggdrasil, the holy tree, waiting for the right time to be used. When giants begin to move against Asgard, signaling the start of Ragnarok, which is the end of the world in Norse belief, Heimdall will blow the Gjallarhorn. The blast from the horn will be so loud it will pass through all the 9 worlds. It will wake up the gods and let them know that the final big fight, the fight that ends and starts the world anew, is beginning. If you enjoyed discovering these legendary weapons and objects, like, share, and subscribe for more myths.